So hi, Dean, and everybody else. As always, the dilemma when we're trying to catch the movement signature of one of our heroes is these movement signatures they're culturally bound. The culture is based on the method of warfare. And the dilemma, of course, for the artist is in just a couple frames catching a whole martial history. And the one thing we need to understand about African warfare is, number one, the Congo-Angola area, they were actually very sophisticated in their warfare. They had large formations. They did not have, the projectile weapons that they had were mostly spears and bow and arrow. The arrows were poisoned. And so what that means is, what could be a minor wound or a scratch on another battlefield would be fatal, which means you don't want to be shot by anything. On top of that, there was a special caste of fighters. The generic name, I think, was the runners, and their purpose was to maneuver through enemy ranks to get to the higher ranking officials. This wasn't, so, you know, in some cultures, a guy in a sense of honor, like the Sioux, counting coup or something like that. You do something daring and suicidal to prove your manhood. But this was actually a military tactic, that you have squads of specially trained people, and their ability was to zig and zag and dodge weapons to get as deep as possible in the ranks to kill an officer or even a general or a king. So the hallmark of these guys was when they trained from childhood, they were getting things thrown at them all the time. And so there's this kind of loose limb kind of movement that, and this goes into capoeira, which is beyond my capabilities, but that's where they would hit the ground and be doing spins. That's based on this ability to throw yourself into a movement, stabilizing yourself, and coming back. So it's different from, you know, even Irgen, where it's the third episode, where we have her doing like kind of whirls in there. She's very, you see this focus here that she has? Well, in the same movement of his El Gato, it would be limb and out. He would never, ever stay in one position because he's always moving, because the moment he stops, somebody has something to aim at him. And so as he strikes somebody, he's moving on to the next person, and there's all this kind of movement. So whether we keep all the frames we have now for 4, if we limit it to make more of a panorama of the larger movement on the first page, it's really essential that we show that loose-limbed kind of thrust that we have. So I'm going to have somebody else, Magali, my wife, do the movement because she's a lot more flexible than I am. But what we're going to be showing is in that first movement, we have El Gato stabbing somebody, and we have him nice and focused. But what we're going to have him do, and I'll have Magali do the extension, is he's coming all the way here because out of the corner of his eye, he sees somebody throwing a spear. Right now in the picture, we have a guy menacing. What we want to have is that spear actually thrown, and so he's simultaneously catching out of his eye, diving underneath it, and stabbing the individual. Okay? And then we flow into the next thing. And so the hallmark is whatever strike he does, even if it's a butt strike with a weapon, he's not going to be like bam, he's going to be bam, like this kind of relaxed movement and on. That's the feel that we want for this man. Okay?